So here I am in this magnificent medieval chapel with a beautiful rosette window at the very top. And Jesus is on the right-hand side. And I'm standing in the aisle with my guardian angel on my left. And I see myself from the choir loft, and I see this exquisite bridal dress, the back of which is interwoven dove feathers coming to a point in the back, and then the whole skirt and train spreading out behind me, and beautiful veil, and there are angels weaving pearls into my hair under this veil. And as we started to move forward, I caught sight of the Lord, and he was magnificent in white, beautiful white gown that was very luminescent. And our eyes met, and I nearly died from love. When he looked at me, my whole being was penetrated with such intense affection and love and appreciation, unbelievable emotion that I've never experienced before, ever. And my feelings for him, when I saw him and when I saw the look of appreciation that he had for me and love, me, he loved me, this magnificent man, and he loved me profoundly, and his heart was melting at the sight of me. It just completely undid me. I was just totally unraveled. I couldn't think beyond the next moment. And my angel began to lead me towards my Lord. And I realized that the angel was going to give me away to the Lord, because my guardian angel had been with me all my life, and he had prepared me for this very moment. This was his greatest honor, the pinnacle of his experience, to bring me to my beloved. And I looked at him, and I was so profoundly grateful and so very sorry that I didn't know him better, that I never made the effort to really appreciate him and thank him for, he was with me my entire life, for everything I ever did, guiding and protecting me and leading me, and never, ever did I ever give him the kind of thanks that he deserved for what he did for me in my life. And I was heartbroken over this, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he looked down at me. He was very tall, and he said, "Don't worry about it now." And I thought, okay, I'll try. And I returned my focus to the Lord, who is yet ahead of me. And when my angel presented me to the Lord had tears running down his cheeks. And I had tears running down my cheeks. And he was so in love with me. And I was so in love with him. I've never experienced anything like that. It was truly divine. It was totally divine. And after we exchanged vows with one another, we turned and faced the pews, and the Lord took my hand, and all of a sudden we rose up and up and up and up through that rosette window, which now I remember there was a beam of light coming down from that window, and we rose up into that beam of light, and I found myself in heaven. And we are in heaven. And before me is this glorious fountain. First there's a palace. There's this huge palace. It must have been, maybe 60 or 70 feet high. And the entrance was probably about 50 or 60 feet wide. But there was this beautiful round fountain outside as you would pass through it to enter into the castle, or the palace actually. Something on the order of the palaces that they have in India, the Taj Mahal, something like that, polished marble floors. This beautiful white marble fountain reminded me very much of Buckingham Fountain in Chicago, where I grew up, and beautiful colored water flowing out from it, all around, flowing out. Beautiful. It takes your breath away. And this was the introduction to our palace in heaven. The Lord had prepared a place for me. All I can say is that while I was experiencing this, I was marveling. I was totally marveling. But then, after I came down from this experience, after the soaking prayer was over and I started to review it, I was shell-shocked for days. I could not, in my wildest imagination, understand what I did to deserve this kind of a dwelling in heaven. I mean, I was beside myself. I knew it was the Lord. I had a conviction, this is God. This truly happened to me. This really is the Lord. I had the conviction. I knew what it was. But I was beside myself in wonderment that for the little that I've done in my life for Him, not only did He give His life and die on the cross for me and wash away my sins, but then He goes to heaven and He makes a palace for me? For what? And this is where I'm saying that this experience in heaven is a little different than the experiences that I've heard, from other people in heaven, only because the Lord was trying to reveal to me His love. Not what I did, not my accomplishments, His love. And you would not believe this place. Everything in that palace really, really made me joyful and happy. First of all, there were 7 waterfalls. I love the number 7 to begin with, but there were 7 waterfalls. The waterfalls were 30 feet high. And there were 3 going along one side, 3 going along the other side, and at the end was one very long 40 or 50-foot waterfall. And in between the waterfall were these beautiful spruce trees and ferns and lilies and, oh my gosh, all the things that I love, I just love. And there were sparkles of light coming out of the waterfall. Indigo happens to be one of my favorite colors, indigo and purple and pink, and beautiful indigo sparks coming out of this waterfall. Down to the choices of the colors. It's so beautiful, so perfect. This is only the first waterfall, right? There's 6 more to go. And to be honest with you, I haven't gotten to, I've gotten past 5. I have no idea what 6 and 7 are like, but every waterfall was unique and different. Unbelievable.